Welcome back to part 2. Okay folks, this is the finale. The first part, I think I had one glass too many. I was pretty sloshed at the end of that hour. So I hope it's clear enough for you. Anyway, any questions on it, you can always fire me a question anytime you like. In the interim, I've baked out curvature map. Is what you're seeing here, and object space normals, of course. Actually looks like this, more linear. Remember, all your normal maps have to be set at RGB linear, and I'm going to show you. Actually, yes, RGB. Curvature. You need curvature maps for Substance Painter, Quixel. I'm actually on the verge of dumping Quixel because in preference for Substance Painter. Substance Painter is just, I don't know, it's just nicer. You can get you get better results, and you've also got the ability to tile your diffuse / albedo, which you don't in Quixel. So you have to keep that in mind, because Quixel is set to your normals, and these normals aren't tileable, they're unique. But anyway, we'll push on with this curvature map. Very simple. Same again, I've added because I want the curvature on this edge as well. And if you don't have the material set up with these, you remember in the first part I added a material to this. I actually beveled this in, and then there's a material for these edges for the normals. As you can see here, I've got high poly rounded, I've got the displacement on the large faces. I'll just check this quickly that it is actually set up correctly. I don't want shady normal, so we'll change that output to final color. There you go. So, how do we do curvature? Simple, use my script. I'll post this so you can download it yourself. You just click on curvature, there it is, set up for you. So that's curvature set up to your edge, as you can see here, it's working. And go to displacement and add the same thing to the displacement, so now you can see it. This is Modular's processing occlusion. Shader, it acts like an ambient occlusion. Concavity and convexity. To make your curvature map tighter, neater, I definitely suggest you use rounded edge. on both. The edge material and the dots or whatever you're adding in here. As you can see here, it's working out pretty well. And to get it less, how would you say it, blocky, increase the occlusion res. This will take about 4 minutes. This big at 24, at 48, it's doubled. The higher you increase this, the nicer this is going to be. It's going to look, but it's also going to take a hell of a lot of time to bake. So it's the same again. It's just make sure you're low poly selected with UVs. And bake from object to render output. And this is what you'll get. There are some artifacts here, as you can see, which are, and if you really zoom in, you can see this blocky. If you increase the res, this will be less blocky. And of course, if you increase the render size, remember. So normal maps for this at 2K will definitely look better at 4K. So we're going back to the same discussion about, you know, poly count, vert count, and material draw calls, and the rest of it. If you look at the power that we're getting today from graphics cards, it's just insane. And if you're doing a lot of modular work, which you should be, I think it just goes across board building. Every level, if you're designing levels unique, it's just going to melt everything. You know, it's not efficient way to work. So the best way to work is definitely through modular or even semi-modular, so you can recycle parts. And if you've got a modular, like I showed you in the first video, that corridor service entrance or whatever you want to call it, that I'm working on, it's modular, so it's going to be stagnant, but you can change via the material and what do you call it, decals. You can make different variations on it. So back to that is basically it. This is basically the end of the tutorial, because we've got all our maps, you know. I just here, there they are. Baked with cage, without cage, ambient occlusion, alpha map, curvature map, and object space normals. If you look at one of my other videos, I think I'm talking about smoothing groups and splitting your actual UVs into islands to create that blend across the two. We seen in I'll just throw it up here quickly, why not? So I can explain better what I mean. This is the original. I'll just use the which one was it? This is with the cage. This looks pretty horrible, of course. Why? Because it's flipped for UV4. But this is not what I wanted actually, so I'll delete that. I wanted the original UVs. As you can see, its UVs are all over the place. Here we go. So you see, there's no smoothing or nothing going across this. There's nothing you can do. You could add a smoothing group to it. And honestly, I don't know what way this is going to affect these dots. Smoothing groups have something I have to look into. But basically this tutorial is to give you ideas on how to, you know, keep things low poly and get some detail out of it. I've already explained to you about selecting different faces. Let's go to my high poly. So you can literally have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 different materials there. Or here. You know, you can understand the power of this. You're adding materials per poly selection. It is. It's definitely something worth checking in, looking into. I think if Luxology would do something to the rounded edge shader, you've got something honestly seriously powerful, because you know these edges on the outside look fine, but it's once something's beveled on the inside, you get the artifacts. If they could find a way to fix that, it would be awesome. And I think I'll just move on right on, because we're done here. We're you know, everything's covered in the first segment, part 1. As I said at the start, I'm pretty much done with Crixel, so I'm just gonna do this quickly I'll keep my original in a Substance Painter. Keep the original document resolution, select the mesh, and I will add the maps. That's the alpha, ambient occlusion, curvature, and UV nice normals and object space normals. They've all been just added. And let's see, if you're using Unity, you should have this compute tangent space per fragment deselected. If you're doing work in UE4, that should be ticked. So we're all set up here. One thing I don't understand with Painter is the actual normals. How my normals are looking. I don't really like it. I don't get it. I'll show you what I mean. You see, this edge is rounded. At the top it's not, but here it is. And on this side it's not either. So I don't actually know what the issue is here. This is rounded, this is rounded. This is not rounded. So some of the edges just aren't rounded. And I was thinking maybe that's shadows. That are causing this, the actual PBR, the environment. No idea, something I'm looking into. But as you can see, that's our basic normal map. I'll select my word space normals, ambient occlusion, curvature map, and thickness map. I've seen somewhere that you can actually flip your polys and do an AO bake. I tried that out, didn't work, so I don't know what the guy's talking about. If you flip your polys and do a ambient occlusion bake, that you're going to get a thickness map. Again, something I'm going to look into, but not right now. 3D, 2D, 3D only. Okay, So we want to get transparency. I think they added this a few releases ago. So you can add transparency to your mesh in Painter. So I will add a fill fill layer. Turn these all off. I have to add a new channel, which is going to be opacity. There we go. Or opacity. So here you want to add your alpha map, which is this. And I turn that off. Now you can see nothing happens because you got to change the shader, which is right here. I just changed it with alpha blending, and now you have it done. Check this one, alpha test. Similar. Alpha blending, it's cool, works. Does the job. Pretty much the same in Marmoset. So that's basically what it looks like. I'll add another fill and just stick a material on this. Color. Does this mean it all gets added? This confuses me sometimes. That means it's active. So you can change this. That means it's active. Okay. Let's go to color. Roof metal. I'm just going to add a material here. Aluminum brushed metal. There we go. There's metal. Not very heavy. And you can see the issues with the normals still present, even from a distance. So it's working, but it's just not working the way it is in Marmoset. But I gotta give hats off to the Marmoset viewport. This is fantastic. I think every software should just buy a license and use that in Modo. If Modo had a viewport like Marmoset, it would be, oh Christ, wunderbar. It would be awesome to have that viewport. Even this I would kill for this in Modo. You know what I mean? So it means you can do your texture and work in other programs and bring it into Modo and have all Modo's funkiness tools at your fingertips. And it'll look the same as what you're seeing here and in Marmoset. Grixel does definitely have a nice PBR viewport. But the problem with Grixel is the idea was totally awesome. I have to be honest with the guys, they did have an awesome idea, but programming that to that extent is just mental. That's why there's so many people have problems and issues with it. The original version just worked a lot better. You know, I'm looking up, just have to look up on the internet how to add an alpha channel, and the old Dido, it was just there, and you could just dump it in and add it and you're done. But anyway, we'll just leave this as it is. I'm not going to drag this one out because the last part one was an hour, just over an hour, so it was pretty mental. Again, the beauty with should I actually change this, because this is more bumpy than actual color. Let's change this. Just something, it would be nice if we could get something with color in there. Plastic base, we want plastic. Titanium. With the bumps and the bits. And that's in my opinion, the downside of Painter. These material options are pretty bland. Just my opinion. Nothing to freak out about. Honestly, I'm just going to leave this here, because I'm not actually going to use this normal map. In fact, why don't we just stick some color on there? Bugger it. Is that car paint? There we go. We'll leave it red. Why not? Knock 'em dead red. So you can see that this is meh. I'd call it meh quality. And in Painter you can increase it. That just jumped from 2K to 4K in a few seconds. And see, it's definitely looking better. Still not fantastic, but if you increase your tiling, you know what I mean? You can see that that's actually just turned out to be fantastically good. But keep in mind that you are actually, you're not increasing the, you know what I mean, you're just doing, this is a diffuse over your normals and everything. This is what I like about it. You can't do this in Quixel. This is just my albedo diffuse map who's being tiled, scaled, which gives this really nice material. And I think I'm just going to export this. I'm not going to bother with the bump. That's for a later date. And I'm honestly can't export this at 4K. So drop that down, back down to 2. It's good enough. I can actually drop that down to get that bumpiness back. Drop it down to 2K, and I'm going to export this. Export all channels. Document size. It's going to give me everything. Base color, height, roughness, metallic, opacity, and normal. Normals I'm not going to use. This is another thing which I don't get with Painter. You know, I don't want all my color map, height map. Height map should be TIFF, for instance. Color map should be targeted. Normal map should be PNG. I don't get it why everything's just one set. You know, file type. I don't see the logic to this at all. So I'm just going to change that to target. If I can find it. I've just recently started jumping back into 8 bits. Don't want 8 bits. It's a bit low. We can always, you know, you could leave it a PNG file and then convert it, but it's an extra step. It boils my head, you know, all these are fucking extra steps. It should be built in to the program. You know, it's not like it's free or anything. But anyway, we'll leave it at PNG. You can export it as a target in Photoshop because you want sometimes you will need 32-bit, 24-bit in the game engine. Export these to my dev disk. New folder. Thought I had a folder. Enter. Nothing else I need to set up. It's quick and dirty this, folks, so don't be expecting wunderbar results. And that was quick. Okay, so there you go. Transparency in Painter working a hell of a lot better than what it does in Substance. Because it's just like, there's a video on it how to show you, shows you how to do this in Painter, and there's nothing in the Quixel documents. I just can't find it anywhere. I've seen a few forums and a few posts in Polycount. Boom. Again, meh. Nonsense. Document the shit, or leave the function out. If it's not documented, how are you supposed to use it? Okay, enough complaining. Complaining doesn't help. I'm just gonna discard this, and we're gonna go back to Marmo's head. Actually, we're not. We have to go to Photoshop. Because I gotta put the alpha in the diffuse. Small icons. Something I have to fix. This is a reasonably new install. I had a registry edit. I came across on the net to get basically all your even PSD files showing up in your Explorer. And people are buying software. You're spending $30 in software to do it for you. There's actually a simple registry edit that solves this, but it's base color anyway we want. So there you go. This is red. This is actually pretty nonsense, because we could do that in I thought there might have been some texture detail in here, but there's not. It's actually done by the normals in the Painter. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to duplicate this. Yeah, whatever. Delete that. And we want to add the see, this is RGB without an alpha. So that's pretty much blows the ship out of the water. Because I honestly don't think I can add a channel. But what am I talking? I'm definitely, sometimes I need to slap myself. Really. I've been using Photoshop for years and I just become a daft idiot with it. New channel, alpha, there you go. And it's always in front of you, but sometimes when you're not using features, it just slips the mind, or maybe my old grey matter is getting old. Okay, so I'm ranting again. I'll bring in that alpha. You need to put the alpha in your diffuse map for it to work in Marmoset. You can use it separately in the game engine, but you can also use it in the game engine in your diffuse albedo map. So I'll just select this, copy it, select the alpha, and that's it. Done. Save that side as a target the way it should be. I'll just stick it in the main folder. Base color. With alpha channel selected, so 24 bits, 32 bits is definitely for your color map preferable, and we're done. So I'll import the mesh, box UVs, still using the same normal map as we got out of Modular because it looks freaking nice. I don't know what's going on with green channel's been flipped in Modular, by the way, using Firefire's export, because you need to do that for Unreal Engine. You need your green channel flipped. You can also do it in the engine as well. You don't need to have it flipped, but anyway. I will add the albedo that we just added the alpha to, base color. And again, you can just get that color here, but you don't have an alpha in it, so it's transparency. It shows you the way, here you go, to add the alpha correctly, even if it's just stupid red. I think the gloss and specular map will bring out that bumpiness. Not sure. Most of it's probably in the normal map. I don't think Occlusion is going to do much for us here. I can bring it in, but no. Not a picker. Useless. Cavity map I've already used. Gloss map. What is gloss? Is it metallic? Or is it roughness? Get confused with this new PBR system. And we'll go to metallic. And keep that redness. I'll show you actually that normal map that came out of Blender. It's not too bad. It's actually not much difference. It's difference, but not much. And of course, what you're seeing, you're going right through this. The back faces are being culled. Again, I said it in the first part that you need to have this unchecked. And the albedo is red, so can we do anything funky with this? Let's see, you can change it to make it a red. Inverted looks really like metal now. Intensity a little bit there. Now it looks like metal, which was what I wanted. And you can see, folks, this is, I think this is gorgeous for a box, a really extreme low poly box. And if you've got thickness, if you model these type of holes in the mesh, you're definitely going to get better results if you've got due to thickness. So the best way to get this, honestly, is actually modeling the holes in your high poly. But you've got to put everything into perspective and say, what is the player going to look at that and say, well, this doesn't look like metal that's been machined. This is unacceptable. You know, it's just madness. I'll add a light here. Clean a new light. Put it up to the middle. I'm going to turn the background off. Turn the brightness a bit up. There we go. And I'll turn the brightness down slightly. I'll leave that roughly like that. Change the light color for the fun of it. Still getting not really much difference in the light color. Doesn't go now, we're inside the box. You can see the distance. Increase the width of that. There you have it, you've got a little globe thing inside the box. And my friends, that's a wrap. So you apply that technique to different parts of your model.
So we're going to play one more. It's kind of a crappy version of a really good bootleg.
I'll just open this for quick explanation again.
But I'm going to play it anyway, and it's virtually unmixable because the version I have.
So you'll have different parts of your model. Will have, you know, you can set up.
Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll play one more.
This is actually one. You could set up this material.
Bassdrive.com. Tell your friends.
On all those lights. And add whatever the hell you want to it inside Modu. You can even just use for this you could just use transparency. That's glass. That's my plan. So I only need an alpha map for that, and in Unreal Engine I'm going to use that as emitter, so it's going to glow. So you don't have to use real lights. You can just use Unreal Engine's glow emitter material. So honestly, play around with it. You've seen how simple this is, even though it might be a bit confusing for some of you. I can understand that it'll be a bit confusing, but you know, you're talking about a normal map, ambient occlusion, alpha, curvature, and object space normal, and this is what you get. You can't really go wrong with this type of system. I mean, you don't have to put holes, you can put whatever the hell you want on that. You don't even have to have it as an alpha, you could have it extruding. You know what I mean? So the actual holes are being extruded out. Again, you'll get the same results, and you don't need the alpha map, because you're not using it to create holes. You've got a lot to play around with just inside Modu. There's no other software needed. And that's a wrap, folks. Thanks. Any questions at all, just give me a shout. Good luck. Bye bye.